everyone. I've decided to go ahead and do the planner Q&A for the social distancing times we're in now. So I am not going to tag anybody myself, much like other YouTubers have not. Feel free to answer the questions if you want in your own YouTube video. Otherwise, feel free to just listen in to everyone else's who is doing it. So I'll list the questions below and then I'm just going to go through them. So the first one is to talk a little bit about myself. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a picture of me and my husband. So we've been together for almost 24 years. It'll be 24 years in July of this year. And this is a picture of us at our last trip in Zurich. We try to take at least one big trip a year and travel somewhere. Obviously, we're not going to be doing that this year, and luckily we had not had plans to travel anywhere this year, but it still is disappointing that we can't plan something, but I'd rather be home and safe. But this is us, and then this is our little fur baby, Benny. And he is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and I love him to death. We don't have any kids, so he's essentially our one and only baby. We had a cat for a really long time, and I always felt like I had a cold when we had the cat, and then when he passed away, we didn't get another pet for a while because we were really devastated. Because we loved him so much. And then I also found out that I was allergic to cats, which explains why I felt sick all the time. But I am not allergic to dogs, so we went ahead and decided to get a dog because my husband works from home, and it's easy for him to take care of him from home. And I'm so glad that we were able to do it because he's such a wonderful dog. And I currently live in Denver, but I grew up in San Francisco. I've lived all over in between. I lived in Seattle, Philadelphia, North Carolina. So basically all over the place, mostly cities, but sometimes not. But that's about me. And the next question is, how did you get introduced to the planner community? So it probably was through Chic Sparrow, because I started looking at traveler's notebooks after I got an original traveler's notebook, which kind of gave me the itch on those. And then I got into Chic Sparrow, and then from there I got into the 2.0 group on Facebook, watched a ton of YouTube videos about it, and that's probably how I got involved. My everyday carry, okay, I'm going to push these off to the side here. My current everyday carry, I'm going to pan out a little bit, is this guy, which is a Chic Sparrow Hemingway Julian Alps. And I actually just recently did a video profiling everything that's in here and what I use with it. And so far I love it, but my everyday carry does vary depending on the day, the week, the month. This is what I'm in right now, but I'm always in a B6 Slim because that is my preferred size. So my favorite type of pen, I would definitely say, is fountain pens. I love how smooth they go down and they just work really, really great. I would say the second runner-up is, or the runner-up rather, is gel pens. So I basically have come to the point where I cannot use ballpoint pens because I think they're atrocious. They really just don't write smoothly. They're just not that great. All right, my most used pen, okay, that's probably this one. I'm going to pull this out of my everyday carry here. That would be my Lamy 2000. It is kind of a pricey pen, but I use it a lot and I really like it. My current ink that's in here is Yamabudo by Pilot. I have that here too. And my inks usually vary. I kind of go all back and forth between a variety of inks. The last one I had in here was Robert Oster Fire and Ice, which I also love a lot. All the Robert Oster inks are great. And then the second most used pen is going to be this gel pen, which is the Pentel Energel Special Edition. I think it's called the Philology. Don't hold me to that. But if you go to my video where I talk about my everyday carry, I have a link to this. I really like to get pens from, mostly from, a variety of sources, jet pens, and also I really like Yoseka Stationery, which is where I got this one. And let's see, 2 honorable mentions. I would say 2 honorable mentions for pens. Let's put these guys up here while we're talking. 2 honorable mentions for pens, I would say this fountain pen. This is the TWSBI Diamond Mini in blue. I really love TWSBI fountain pens. They write great. This is a medium-sized nib. My Lamy 2000 is a fine nib, but it kind of writes like a medium. So medium's kind of my happy place for fountain pens, usually. And then another runner-up is just run-of-the-mill old Sharpie felt tip pen. This is a fineliner, works great. I use it a lot for sketching with watercolor, even just writing notes. It always works pretty well. Okay. So my favorite planner accessories, I tend to be fairly minimal when I'm planning, specifically planning, but I do like these stencils that go with the Jabun Techo, which is what I use as my planner. They just have a variety of things that are pretty utilitarian, and I like those. And you can also use them as a ruler or get a scalloped edge out of this one. And then I also like using these stamps from Cool Japan Stamp, which allows me to put little stamps for different types of appointments, like a haircut, doctor's visit, going to the dentist, all that kind of thing. So those are great too. All right. My biggest challenges in planning, I would say that that's just keeping up with it every day, because sometimes I will forget to plan, or sometimes I'll let it go for a few days, and then I do try to keep that track of things like the weather every day and that sort of thing, and then I have to go back in time and think, what was the weather like? So that actually goes back to my other favorite planner accessories, because one of my favorite accessories is actually my iPhone, which seems a little strange for paper planning, but I use an app called Deliveries to keep track of packages, and then I put that in my planner. And then also if I miss a few days, like I was talking about, I can go back into a weather app and see what the weather really was. I've been asked before, like, why do you track the weather? And part of it, I feel like, is we're in kind of strange times, and I feel like I need to document things like the weather. And the other thing is just going back over time to see, what weather was happening when, and whether it affected my mood or things like that. So there's a variety of reasons, but I do use my iPhone for that and then put that information in here. So if I'm in a planner funk, what do I do? Well, I try to change it up. Like, I could do something as simple as just changing out my B6 Slim notebook, or I might try something new, and I actually have something over here that I can show you related to that. So this is a Chic Sparrow Hemingway, what's the purple color? Kilimanjaro, that's what it is. So I actually have been trying rings in here. So it's not that I was necessarily in a funk, but I did want to try something new, and we'll see. I haven't put anything in here yet. I kind of like it, the way it looks. We'll see how it goes as far as use. And I may not even use this for just general planning. I may end up using it for, I was thinking maybe keeping fabric swatches or embroidery swatches, because I do all those things, and it might be a little easier to take in and out with the rings, but we'll see. But I am kind of liking it. Just really quickly, I just crisscrossed the bands on both sides. Several people have been doing this lately, so I don't want to steal their thunder on this. This is not something I came up with at all. What I did do to try and make it a little bit more sturdy, it's actually pretty sturdy, it's not going to go anywhere, is I put the strings that have the tie on them through these holes and then tied it here so that it would be a little bit more secure because I didn't want it falling out. And those rings are from Moterm on Amazon, I believe. They're super cheap. So if you want to try them out, it's super duper cheap. All right, I'm going to put that aside. So what does my family think about my planning? So I think my husband thinks that it's a little obsessive given how many traveler's notebooks I have and how many planners I have. But he's accepting of it. He likes it okay. He's not critical necessarily. He just maybe doesn't understand it so much because that's not his thing. But he does have a couple of planners of his own, and I've given some planners to my sister-in-law, and she seems to really like them. I've even given one recently to my little nephew who just got into a really good kindergarten. I know, it's like crazy. Kindergarten dictates the rest of your life, right? But he got into a challenge school kindergarten, which he'll be in through 8th grade. Hopefully he'll actually get to go in the fall. Hopefully all of this will be over by then. But it's sort of a congratulations for getting into that school. I got him a speckled fawns notebook that was yellow, and I can't remember the name of it, but his favorite color is yellow, so I got him that with a little notebook in it and a little place to store like stickers and stuff. And he seemed to like it, but he's all over the place these days with things. He's only 5. So let's see, what's the next question? Personality tests. What personality tests have you taken? So I've taken the Myers-Briggs, and I'm an ENFJ, which after delving into it a bit, I definitely agree with that assessment. I always kind of thought of myself as a little bit of an introvert, but I have since realized that was probably due to, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, my dysfunctional upbringing. And kind of being tamped down with what I can express of myself, and being kind of forced to be an introvert, which I do have some introverted tendencies, but I do like to be around people, which is why it's so hard right now. And I do like to share things with people and that sort of thing. So hopefully YouTube can kind of fill the gap while that's going on. I've also taken Strengths Finders. I don't know if any of you know about that. It's kind of cool. I can't remember all of them right now, but the main one that I had, my top strength, was called Developer, which essentially means that I like to mentor and foster people's own careers, for example. I don't think I mentioned earlier, so I am a lawyer working for the government, and one of my favorite things that I do in my job is mentoring students that come in and who are interning. And I really like doing that, and I really like helping them figure out what they want to do with their career, and just generally, making sure that people know what they want and what they want to do. So that's the personality test. So the last one is just shows or movie recommendations during our whole social distancing time that we're in now. I have so many that I like, so it's really kind of hard to choose just a few. But okay, so I'll start with movies first. So I really like this movie called Take Shelter, which is sort of kind of an apocalyptic movie, but not really. Sort of kind of a horror movie, but not really. It's really great. I really enjoyed it. And that leads me to a streaming service recommendation, which is Shudder, the Shudder streaming service, which is a horror movie streaming service. If you like horror movies, which I do, it's kind of a gold mine because it has all kinds of movies that you might not be able to get elsewhere. So that was kind of a fun discovery. Other movies, Moulin Rouge. I'm not generally a romance movie kind of person, but I really loved that movie. And I think part of it is because it was just so fast-paced and bright, and everything was really kind of energetic about the movie, and the storyline was really good, and I really liked it. And so I'm just going to tell you all the things about myself at the end instead of the beginning. So I did study in undergrad to be a set designer, so for a theater. So I do still have a love for sort of the theatrics of things like it that are in that movie, and that's probably part of the reason why I like that movie. And then sort of older movies, I love both On the Waterfront and A Streetcar Named Desire. If I were only to choose one of those two, I would definitely choose A Streetcar Named Desire. The end of that movie still, like, makes me want to cry. It's so sad, and I can really identify with the main character, even though she's a little nuts. Maybe that means I'm a little nuts. I don't know. But it's a great movie. Classic, for sure. And as far as shows, a couple of people have already brought up Parks and Rec. It's a great comedy. It's sort of a feel-good show. If you don't want to go the horror movie route or the classic movie route, Parks and Rec is a great show, just for feeling good about life, I think. And I only just recently watched Star Trek Voyager, which I don't know why I didn't watch this when it came out, because it would have totally been my thing. And I love it. Female captain, strong woman character, love it. I highly recommend it. I am also a Star Trek fan, so that could be part of why I like it, but I highly recommend it for just about anybody. Another great show that if I could watch it again like I had never watched it in the first place, it would be The Americans. Amazing show. I'm so sad it's over. And then, let's see, Key and Peele is also a recommendation of mine. I came late to this show too. I know a lot of people recommended it, but it's hilarious, I must say. I would say Baby Forrest Whitaker, and the episode where they're in a comedy club and someone in the audience is trying to get the comedian to make fun of them. Oh my God, those are like the most hilarious 2 episodes I think I have ever seen in my life of anything. So take a look. And I forgot. So movie-wise, I do still love, in spite of all the controversy related to the lead actor in this movie, I love American Beauty. I think it is still a feel-good movie. Try it out. Just forget all the baggage that comes with the lead actor. All right. Well, I think I've come to the end of the list, and hopefully you were not bored by just looking at some stationery while I talked. And if you want to try the same Q&A, go for it. If not, no worries. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.